Welcome back to Blsd Stories, and today we're gonna talk about my favorite pastime. If we take a graph of my happiness throughout the year, I think the biggest spikes will be the legendary super days. Now, what is the abbreviation of legendary super days? Exactly. Basically, it's days when we take LSD, and then I'm trying to build the most legendary itinerary possible. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean fun, it means legendary. It's not always the same. Now, the first legendary super day was even not my idea. Back in those days, every time that I took acid, I felt like I'm on the top of my world. Really, every time I felt like I'm shining, like I'm being the best version of myself. For example, I've been to this one party where I did acid, and in this one event, I met a guy that later became my BFF. I met a girl that became my closest female friend to this day. And I also met this beautiful, amazing girl that became my girlfriend. Now it's my ex, but I'm just trying to explain how in one day, in one trip, my mojo was so powerful that I made all these super meaningful connections just in one time. Anyway, this new girlfriend that I had, her friends are actually the people that made the spark for the first idea of what later became the legendary Super Day. And it happened when they suggested to do acid at the amusement park. And now, before that, I never really did acid outside of a party or outside of just tripping in nature. And this idea of doing acid in a place with all this crazy awesome rides and LED lightning, it sounded amazing to me. I got really excited about it. I did had some concerns about dealing with all the regular people that are gonna be there, but I thought it sounds so good, the experience itself, that it's actually worth checking out. Why not? But I did understand that there is a problem. An acid trip is a long trip. Spending just an evening at the amusement park is not gonna be enough. Luckily for us, right next to the amusement park, there is a water park, so it's perfect. The plan was just to start to do the acid at the water park during the day, enjoy it as much as we can, and then later on going to the amusement park, enjoying it more at night with all the lights. So yeah, it was me, my girlfriend at the time, some of my friends, and some of her friends. Not everyone did acid. Nowadays, it is a requirement for a legendary super day. There's no way that you can join without doing acid. But that was just the first time, and we didn't want to make anyone that didn't want to do it. So yeah, we arrived to the water park somewhere at noon. We set out camp, put all our stuff, and did the acid pretty quickly. Now, I don't have that many memories from that day. I do remember that the coming up, the beginning of the trip was kind of hard because we were experiencing it in line for one of the big slides. Okay, just try to imagine it, how it is to stand in line for 40 or 50 minutes in the hot summer sun, surrounded by hundreds of half naked people that their faces are all distorted by acid. and having to deal with this children that are trying to pass you in line. Yeah, just dealing with children for the first time on acid was a trip on itself. But I remember how like just this feeling of not being able to get out of line, and needing to like control ourselves, and the anticipation for the slide itself even became a bit of like a fear, and we really, after some time, we really just wanted like to get it over with, get out of line, and after that one slide we didn't go to any long lines again. And eventually when we did get to the top, there was this 16-year-old kid that was in charge of getting people into the slide, and this kid started fighting with this mom that was behind us, and he was start yelling something like, "You're not gonna tell me how to do my job," and and she was shouting at him, "Don't talk to me like that. I'll call my husband. He'll smack the shit out of you." And he was like, "Yeah, bitch, I'll call my dad." And we were like shocked, culturally shocked from like all this fight, and maybe a bit amused too. Yeah, it was kind of funny. But at some point this kid was like, "Yeah, nobody goes into the slide till we sort it out," or something. And at that point we're like, whoa, no, we're not gonna wait it out here. And we had to like diffuse the situation as the only grown-ups there. So eventually we did the slide. It was really fun, but after that one long line, we just stayed out of lines and chilled out in the water, or did the more like little rides that were really, really fun. Another meaningful experience in the water park was that we had to buy some food. Some of us were hungry because they didn't do acid, so we had to buy food at this food court. And it was the first time, later I understood that it was the first time that I had to like actually use money on acid. Okay, and I have to tell you, it was a shit show. None of us had any grasp of like numbers and trying to calculate how much we owe and who buys what. It was hilarious, yeah. But after that we we ate it. It was horrible food, but we ate it, and eventually we left the water park. Had like a little joint in between, and continued to the amusement park. Now, in the amusement park itself, again, at the beginning, dealing with money and buying tickets was like hardcore, and then dealing with lockers, okay? Just understanding who puts whose bag in which locker and whose key is it going to be, and every time somebody wants to get water back or something, it was very confusing and hard. The ride itself, and like experiencing G-force for the first time on acid, was amazing. I loved it. And the most beautiful moment of it all, I remember, is just us standing and looking at all the visuals and lights at the amusement park. Just enjoying it without even going on the rides was like intense. Eventually the day didn't end that well for me because I had like a fight with my girlfriend, but other than that, the day was amazing. I really loved the experience of like dealing with the regular people, even though like it's something that you need to overcome, and for some people it's really not that easy. But for me it was like, if the experience is worth doing on acid, so dealing with all the all the people around you and those difficulties, it's worth it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, that was the main lesson felt like I learned that day. And from that point, the legendary super days started getting like wilder and wilder. And on the next one already, we did skydiving and other things of that sort. But that's a story for another time.